As home theater has evolved over the years, things have become more complex, and setting up systems with many speakers with a home theater receiver might feel a bit daunting to some. A lot of people forego these speaker systems for soundbars and simpler to set up systems that might not give the performance that they want, but the setup is less intimidating. While JBL makes some really great soundbar options like the Bar 1300X, they saw this fear as an opportunity to develop a product line that aims to keep the setup as straightforward as possible while offering a level of performance that is very close to the more complex, high-performing home theater systems today. Now, the new Stage 2 speaker lineup and MA series receivers from JBL promise great home theater and music performance, but most importantly, offer a system that is easy to set up and enjoy with speakers that offer great full sound that will sound better than any soundbar or all-in-one unit on the market today. Now, if you haven't seen our overview of their new MA receivers, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. In that video, we discuss the features and the ease of use of those receivers, and it will help you decide which model is best for you. But in this video, we'll go over the new Stage 2 speaker lineup and help you decide which models make sense for your room. We'll also give you some tips on how to set them up and get the best performance and show you just how easy it is to create an amazing theater-like experience in your own living room. However, in this video, I won't go into all the fine details about the technology and specs and exact numbers of all of these speakers. Instead, if you want to learn more about those, we have a very detailed article that breaks down all the technology packed inside each speaker at audioadvice.com, which I have linked below. Now, JBL has been in the world of audio reproduction since 1946 and has sold over 200 million headphones and over 100 million speakers. And there's a good chance that if you've been to a live concert or a movie theater, that you're listening to it on JBL speakers. So suffice it to say that they absolutely know what they're doing when it comes to audio, and these new Stage 2 speakers are no exception. Now, there are 6 different speaker options and 2 different subwoofer options in this lineup. You can get them in their espresso theme, which is a dark wood-toned veneer, an all-black front baffle, and color-matched horn on the top. This option would be great in a room with a darker wood-toned furniture in it or in a home theater room. The other option is their latte theme, which has a lighter toned wood veneer on the sides and a white front baffle with a matching white horn on top as well. Now, we think that this will be a better option in a brighter room and will also be for someone who wants their speakers to stand out a bit more in their room. Now, to us, either color option looks really good and gives the speakers a high-end appearance that can be hard to find in a more affordable speaker line like these Stage 2 speakers. Now, the Stage 2 260F and 280F are the floor-standing speakers in the line. They feature a base that you can attach with a few provided screws, and it adds stability to the tower speaker and is color matched to the front baffle as well. Now, if you're placing them on carpet, they also include little spikes that you can add as well. This base will offer better isolation from the floor that they're sitting on, ultimately improving their performance. Now, these 2 floor-standing speakers are going to be recommended to be used as your front left and right speakers on either side of your TV or projector screen. If you aren't familiar with speaker layouts or what type of speaker goes where, I recommend you check out our video and article on that topic linked below. This will be extremely beneficial to learn about all the different types of speakers and where you want to place them in your room. Alright, so when deciding between the 260F and the 280F, it's ultimately going to come down to the size of your room and how big you want your speakers to be. The 280F speakers are a bit taller, wider, and heavier than the 260F and have bigger woofers, but feature the same size tweeter. If you have a larger space to fill, like an open concept living room, we'd recommend stepping up to the 280F. But if you have a more moderately sized room, the 260F floor standing speakers should work just fine for you. Now, when setting these up in your room, you'll want to have them at an equal distance away from your TV and the center listening position. If you're new to speaker placement, a fun way to get started is to sit in the middle spot of your couch that is dead center with your TV, otherwise known as the main listening position. From there, you can take your hands and stretch them directly out in front of you. Then simply double that distance and your hand should be pointing at approximately the location of where you want to place those speakers. Now, to dial that in even more, you could measure an equilateral triangle from that position to each speaker and between the speakers. It all should equal the exact same amount. And if you want the absolute exact location for your room measurements, you can even experiment with our free home theater design tool at audioadvice.com, where you can actually design your room and it will tell you exactly where to place all of your equipment. Now, we'd also recommend leaving some space between the back wall and the back of your speaker, which usually will give better bass performance for rear-ported speakers like these. You can then also experiment with angling the speakers in roughly 40 to 60 degrees toward that center listening position for a little bit better sound. Now, these are all just tips to improve your sound and don't always need to be followed exactly, but trust us, it can actually be pretty fun to experiment and see what sounds best to you and in your room. Now, when setting up a sound system, one of the most important aspects is to have matching speaker brands and, if possible, matching speaker series. This is one of the reasons the Stage 2 speakers are so cool. These speakers match up perfectly to create a sonically matched surround sound system. Now, to do this, you can utilize their center channel speaker and bookshelf speakers, which feature the exact same tweeter and style of woofers that will ensure great sound all around you. Now, the 245C center channel speaker will sit directly below your TV, just like a soundbar would. This speaker is extremely important for watching movies and TV shows since it handles most of the dialogue from the actors on screen. You'll want this speaker to be all the way to the front edge of your cabinet if possible, and dead center below your TV for the very best performance. The 240B and 250B bookshelf speakers can then be placed on your cabinet or on the dedicated color matching Stage FS speaker stands to allow you to place them in the best position in your room. Placing them on the stands will allow you to move them slightly away from any walls to improve the sound. You can use them as front left or right speakers if you wish, but to build out a full surround setup, these will work better as your surround speakers. Again, you'll want to choose the size that fits your room better and plan to run speaker cables from your MA series receiver to these speakers that will be placed behind your listening position. This will involve a bit more planning in your room, but it will bring your movies to life and allow sound effects to swirl all around your room. As for the placement of these, many people may be constrained to place them where they work best, depending on the actual furniture and layout of their room. Again, this is where our content on speaker placement can help you decide how to place these in your room for the very best performance. In addition, you can call or chat with our team at audioadvice.com, and they can look at your room and help you decide where to place these in the best spot. In addition, adding a subwoofer or two to your system will enhance the movie watching experience greatly. The Stage 2 lineup features two different size options, the 200p, which has a 10-inch woofer on the front, and the 220p, which has a 12-inch woofer on the front. The 220p will be more powerful and fill a larger room with that low-end slam that just hits you in the chest during your favorite action or thriller movie. Adding a second subwoofer will even out the bass in your room to make it feel more realistic no matter where you're sitting. Now, if your budget allows, we'd recommend two subwoofers, especially since the MA receivers have two subwoofer outputs on the back, making it easy to hook them up. Now, getting a subwoofer in the best place in your room can involve some experimentation. Of course, you could just place them in the front next to your left or right speakers to get started. But if you really want to fine-tune them, I'll leave links in the description on content that we've done to help you find the best placement and then calibrate them for your room to take your bass to an even better level. And lastly, there's the Stage 2 240H Dolby Atmos add-on speakers. If you don't know what Dolby Atmos is, you have to check out our video that we've made at the link in the description to learn more. But essentially, it's the sound that you can hear in front of you, behind you, above you, and all around you, and it feels like an immersive bubble of sound effects. The 240H speaker is designed to be an add-on Dolby Atmos height speaker with the floor standing speakers that you can use the provided sticky rubber mat to place them right on top of the speakers. You can then connect your speaker wires to the bottom of the floor standing speakers and then use smaller cables at the top of them to connect to the Atmos add-on speaker. Now, we really love that JBL added this feature so you don't have to have wires hanging off the back of your speakers. Now, with these placed on top, they are angled to bounce the height effects off of your ceiling and then back down to you, which makes it actually feel like sound is coming directly above you. Now, this will work best if you have flat ceilings that are under around 12 feet tall at most, and you want no ceiling fans or obstructions in your way. If that doesn't work for you, you can actually flip a switch on the bottom of the speaker and use the provided mount to mount them on your wall and shoot that Atmos sound down towards you. This makes these speakers super versatile and is a must-add if you plan to watch a lot of movies and want the ultimate surround sound experience. Alright, now that we've discussed each model in the lineup, let's briefly go over some of the different setup options and suggestions of pairings that will be best for most people. If you have a smaller room but want really great surround sound for a really great price, pairing up the 260F floor standing speakers with the 245C center channel and two 240B bookshelf speakers as your surrounds with two 200-piece subwoofers will be an amazing setup for an amazing price. Since that setup just has 5 speakers and 2 subwoofers, you could pair that up with the JBL MA310 5.2 receiver, meaning that receiver can power those 5 speakers and the 2 subwoofers. If you want to upgrade to the larger 280F floor standing speakers and the 250B bookshelves, we'd recommend using the MA510 5.2 receiver, which can handle the same amount of speakers but provides more power for those larger speakers. Now, if you want to add on the Atmos speakers on top of these setups, you'll want to have a 7.2 receiver to handle those 7 speakers and the 2 subwoofers. The MA710 and MA7100HP will both handle those setups perfectly. Again, choosing the bigger receiver will give you more power for larger speakers. Plus, it's always a good idea to go with a larger receiver when possible so that you can add more speakers down the line without replacing your receiver. Now, for the ultimate setup with all of the speakers and 2 pairs of bookshelf speakers that will act as your rears and surrounds, you'll want to step up to the JBL MA9100HP 9.2 receiver to handle all of those 9 speakers. Stepping up in receivers not only gives you the ability to have more speakers in your system, but each receiver as you go up in the line will provide more power and actually more features too. To learn more about each receiver, like we said, check out the video in the link in the description. Okay, as we mentioned at the start, these new Stage 2 speakers take the complexity out of a home theater system. They have the famous JBL sound, and we were just blown away at how they sounded in our test lab. We tested a lot of movies and music with our system and found ourselves having a hard time pressing pause on the movie to go to the next test track because they just sounded so good and they made the film so much more engaging than any soundbar could. We couldn't be more excited for this new lineup of speakers and receivers from JBL that will certainly be shaping the future of movie watching for many different people. Connecting the speakers to the receiver is a pretty straightforward process, and with their well laid out back panel, it makes it even easier. The menus on the screen of the receiver are super easy to use, and they actually have some more in-depth features if you want to dig in deeper to really fine-tune your system. Plus, it's as simple as downloading JBL's Easy Set EQ app on your phone and then running a quick room calibration to make each speaker sound its best in your environment. Now, if you're ready to step up from your TV speakers, a soundbar, or Bluetooth speakers, and you want an incredible audio experience, we really can't think of a better option than the JBL Stage 2 and MA series lineup for its price. Now, I realize that I've thrown a lot at you, especially if you're just getting started in home theater, and this is going to be one of your first real surround systems. But one of the great reasons of why you should buy your JBL system from Audio Advice is that we have experts ready to help you with your setup or any other questions that you have. We also have tons of playlists on YouTube with videos all about home theater and audio, and a massive library of content at audioadvice.com to help you with your audio and video journey. Plus, we offer free shipping, lifetime expert support for any of your products, and a price guarantee. And if you do have more questions, you can always stop by one of our award-winning showrooms or just call or chat with our team at audioadvice.com. And as we said, you have to check out audioadvice.com, where we have so many more buy-in guides, installation videos, and inspiration galleries, and plus our free home theater design tool like we discussed before that will help you get the exact placement of all of your equipment for the best performance. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you never miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.